The Denver Broncos just got some not-so-great injury news ahead of their Week 9 game against the Houston Texans. So I want to go ahead and bring in this tweet from Parker Gabriel of the Denver Post. No surprise, but Pat Surtain and Nate Atkins were both DNP. We already know that Surtain is not going to play until at least the Washington game, but Denver has elected not to put him on IR because they believe with the bye week, he's only going to miss 3 games. Nate Atkins, DNP as well with his knee injury. We don't know the exact severity of it, but he's probably going to miss at least this week, maybe next week, the week after that. It might be a similar timeline to Pat Surtain, actually. So neither one of those guys were expected to play. But we've been monitoring Marvin Mims throughout the week. He suffered a concussion in the game against Dallas, and unfortunately, he has not been able to progress through the protocol in time, so that means he is not going to play in this game. He would have had to get a full practice in today in order to clear the protocol. He didn't even get a limited practice in, so yeah, Marvin Mims unable to go. That's going to impact the Broncos both in the receiving game as well as the return game. And it's a really frustrating sequence of events that led to Marvin Mims getting injured. It was late in the Dallas game after the game was already well decided, but there was a miscommunication in terms of getting the right personnel out there. It was supposed to be Tyler Bidet and RJ Harvey on a kickoff return. Instead, it was Tyler Bidet and Marvin Mims. That should have never happened. Quite frankly, the Broncos not taking a timeout there is borderline inexcusable, and that's on Sean Payton, but it's also on Darren Rizzi for not having the right personnel out there. Regardless of how it happened, Marvin Mims got injured on that play, and now he's going to miss this game. In the receiving game, you're going to expect Troy Franklin to step up. Hopefully he has one of his better days where he's not putting the football on the ground. Then you're going to expect Evan Ingram to step up as that big slot player. Pat Bryant is going to see more snaps as the season progresses. The Broncos love him as an inline blocking receiver. He's almost like a tight end for this team. What's cool about Pat Bryant is defenses are going to treat him like a wide receiver in terms of how they match up their personnel. They're going to have nickel defense out there as opposed to base defense. But when Bryant is in line as a blocker, he literally is almost like a tight end, and it's a mismatch for the Denver Broncos offensively. So that's something I think Denver's going to lean into as the time goes on. Additionally, I believe that we're going to see more from Pat Bryant in the receiving game as defenses continue to not know how to match him up personnel-wise. So, Pat Bryant, we saw those flashes last week. He's also really good as a backup X player. That way you can maybe rotate Sutton out, keep him fresh. He's not the spring chicken that he used to be, so that's something to definitely consider. I'm confident in Pat Bryant, but for this game in particular, it's going to be on Troy Franklin and it's going to be on Evan Ingram. As far as filling the void with Pat Surtain, Chris Abrams-Draine is in line to make his first start of the season, second start of his NFL career. The Broncos really like Chris Abrams-Draine. I like Chris Abrams-Draine, but I believe that he is going to be picked on a little bit in this game. CJ Stroud is going to know that he is their weakness in the secondary, so we're going to probably see a lot of targets go Chris Abrams-Draine's way. With Nate Atkins being down, that probably means that Mercedes Lewis is going to make his Denver Broncos debut. The Broncos are going to need to do something in line the third string tight end position, and quite frankly, neither Caleb Lohner or the other practice squad tight end Patrick Murtaugh, who's an international pathway player, I don't think that any of those guys are going to be able to fill that void as that inline third string blocking tight end. So it's for that reason that Mercedes Lewis is probably going to make his Denver Broncos debut in this game against the Houston Texans. So Denver is going to have to find a way to contend without their best player in Pat Surtain, and it's going to be on Vance Joseph schematically to make adjustments. We're not going to be able to see Denver run a lot of man, or at least nearly as much man as they have with Pat Surtain in there. They trust Pat Surtain to take away one half of the field. That's why they have so much confidence running man coverage. We're going to see a lot more dropping back into zone. Additionally, I believe we're going to see a lot more blitzes, a lot more schemed pressure to take some of the pressure off of the secondary for the Denver Broncos. This is going to be a great test for Vance Joseph as he wants to prove to the rest of the NFL that he deserves a head coaching job. The ability to adjust without your best player in there, that is what separates a good coach from a great coach. So VJ, I believe, is going to rise to the occasion here, and he talked about it in his presser yesterday. It's going to be on the entire defense to step up without Pat Surtain, just like it's going to be on the entire group of skill position players to step up without Marvin Mims and Nate Atkins. All right, Broncos country, let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Denver Broncos' chances in this game without Pat Surtain, without Marvin Mims, and without Nate Atkins? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country, just like you and me. Additionally, if you guys want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. I would really appreciate it. It's not mandatory whatsoever, but if you guys want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out and helping this channel grow, I would really appreciate if you would consider it. The link is in the description below. Alright guys, before we get out of here, I want to tell you about the affiliate partner for today's video, Green Gridiron Helmets. Use code DENSYN, DENSYN, link in the description below, to save off your first purchase on authentic NFL helmets. From small replicas like this one behind me to full-size authentic helmets, they've got it all. Again, that is code DENSYN, DENSYN, link in the description below, to save off your first purchase from Green Gridiron Helmets. Thank you so much to them, and until next time guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.